Hello, Dr. Dan Yachter here for this week's version of News, Views, and Weekly Updates. And thank you so much for being with me. We had an amazing masterclass last night, packed house in the middle of December, the time of year where everybody just forgets about their health and wellness, well-being, kind of just unravels. And, this is the season of distraction for most people in regards to their health. And quite frankly, what I find is, and again, I'm just like everybody else, have a family and, I want to enjoy the holidays. But at the same time, I don't let my health drop off the cliff because I know it just only gets harder. If I fall behind in December and I start the year where I don't necessarily want my health to be, then I have to kind of dig myself out of a health hole. And it just takes so much work, more work to be healthy. So kudos to all of those who made the effort to come last night. Also, to be here physically, but also what we did is we did something that we never do, or at least we have not done in years. We broadcasted live the master class inside of our Facebook group, My Family, My Mission. I made the announcement before Zoom broadcast, and we had a lot of people who could not make it and then tuned in by way of Zoom. So if you're not part of our groups and look for My Family, we'll let you in, and you can get all kinds of updates, announcements, and also sit in the comfort of your own home and be able to watch our master classes. So it was a phenomenal master class. So what I'm going to do is over the next several weeks, leading up to our January 20th next master class, weight loss and detoxification as well, I'm going to go ahead and unpack all of the major points, all of the major information that we covered last night. And we are going to start with basically how the spine relates to detoxification, what's involved. So there are a lot of slides that we covered last night, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about several of those. But when it comes to detoxification, one of the things that most people never think about and never think about detoxification in this way is that there are very specific organs that are involved with the detoxification process on a daily basis, the metabolic detoxification process. And what are those major organs? Of course, we breathe, we respire toxicity out by way of our lungs. We also sweat, skin, the largest detoxification organ in the body. So sweating toxicity out. We pee and poop toxicity out by way of the kidneys, liver, the colon, the bowels, the liver and the lymphatic system, major organs of detoxification. It's really where detoxification begins in the liver. The lymphatic system being the gutter system of the body, collecting toxicity, bringing it to the liver, and then the body getting rid of it. And then, of course, we have to take into consideration fat cells. Part of the reason why you want to keep the body lean is because the body tends to park unprocessed or uneliminated toxicity parked in fat cells. So again, all of this governed, directed, orchestrated, governed, all of it is basically managed by the human nervous system. So the brain has to be able to communicate through the spine, the 24 molar vertebrae of the spine. Okay, these vertebrae basically allow the information to go down through the spinal cord and then pass out through spinal nerves. And every one of these major detoxification organs is wired back to the spine, then to the brain. And again, there cannot be any interference. It's got to be a clear path, clear passageway between the brain communicating out into these organs. And again, that's where chiropractic care comes in. The vertebrae of your spine are out of alignment. It can injure, damage, distort the communication that's coming through trying to get out through those nerves. And the breakers that get thrown. What does the chiropractor do? Adjust those vertebrae back into alignment, the ideal alignment, the ideal postural alignment, the ideal position for those vertebrae, thus allowing, which by the way can be measured, analyzed, studied, measured, quantified when those improvements are made, okay, by way of x-rays, postural analysis. And when that occurs, the brain can fire its best into those organs. So that is where we start. And again, as the weeks go on, I'll be unpacking all the content for you so you can understand what are the major sources of toxicity. Okay? Where do you find them? How do you remove them? How do you begin the detoxification process? How come different people respond differently to different toxins in the environment? And one becomes toxic, the other there's toxins differently than the other. Why? There are genetic differences, biochemical, physiological differences. There are all kinds of differences as to why individuals process or absorb toxicity or eliminate toxicity differently. How to test for toxicity. The number one test out there that I used last night, if you were here or tuned in by way of Zoom, you saw my most recent. I let it all hang out last night. I showed my test so you can see my toxicity test, what's living inside of me, and what I'm doing to get rid of that toxicity now. Because we know toxicity can accumulate as the years go on. Health issues. So again, I'm going to show all of that. How do you test for the Environmental Protection Agency, drink, breathe, put on our skin daily, cosmetics and otherwise. So you're going to learn all about that and more. So the announcement I made earlier, if you're part of that I was going to be transmitting, you're going to be able to view live my master class. We did it by way of Zoom while I was conducting the master class here. We broadcasted it through a Zoom broadcast. And the way you would have known about that and gotten the links is by being part of our private group, My Family, My Mission. If you've not joined yet, go there. Every week I post videos and content, all kinds of resources in there. Go to Facebook groups, type in My Family, My Mission, ask to be approved. We'll let you in, and you can gain access to all the stuff and more, especially to future broadcasts of our live master classes here. Two major announcements. One, Santa will be at our office Christmas Eve, okay? Next Wednesday, 3 to 4 o'clock. Come get pictures with him. It's going to be a blast. He's coming. He's going to be getting adjusted before he flies out and delivers gifts around the community. And he does the same thing every year. He gets adjusted first because of the physical stress and strains and demands on his body. But come out next week, and we could all gear up for the big day next Thursday. So that's one announcement. And the other announcement is, again, of course, looking forward into next year, January 20th, our big weight loss Tuesday, January 20th, weight loss and detoxification. Many of us are going to need it. Some are going to need it more so than others, but that's going to be our next masterclass coming around. So again, as the weeks go on, each Wednesday, we'll be breaking down the topic of detoxification. We'll be talking about nutrition, how to test for sure you're getting more toxicity out